I'm Carson. I'm a developer at Metadata Technology North America. I'm here to show you the easiest ways that you can access the Paycheck Protection Program loan data. You may have seen data visualizations floating around the internet like this one that show statistics like the average amount loaned or a breakdown by state or industry type, and you may be wondering how you can build your own. Or you've seen headlines floating around that question where exactly these funds went, and you're interested in digging deeper for yourself. So how do you go about getting this information? The Small Business Administration went ahead and they released the Paycheck Protection Loan Program data on their website. So you can go ahead and download the files and do it yourself. However, this can be pretty labor intensive. The files are pretty large. You'll have to do some data cleaning and compute any additional variables you might need for your project. So how do you get around this? My colleagues and I at Metadata Technology North America have gone through, we've done the data cleaning, we've added some geographic information, validated the zip codes, and we've made it available in our Rich Data Services platform. This means that you can now just make a quick API call or visit the website and you'll have the data you need in the format you need it. If you're not very familiar with APIs, you're not a programmer, don't go anywhere just yet. It can be pretty simple, and we've got some browser-based tools that make it easy to do as well. So to start getting familiar with the data, I recommend heading to our RDS Explorer. This is an app built on top of our RDS API, lets you browse, filter, subset data, and makes it a little easier to look through the data that's there rather than looking through a database or just a data file. So once you're here, we'll navigate to the Paycheck Protection Loan Program dataset, and you'll see all this data pop up. Down here, you'll see that we have over 5 million records. I recommend starting with a dictionary view up here so you can see what data you have to work with. In this scenario, let's say I'm interested in seeing all the female-owned restaurants in Georgia who receive loans. So here I'm going to pick, let's go through and pick the loan amount, the business name, city. This inferred state FIPS is a variable we put together that takes the zip code and infers a state code from it. Since those didn't always match up, you could always just pick the standard state FIPS, which was the original state code in the data. Then I'm going to go through and choose this NAI CS3 code, which is the industry code and tells us kind of where the business falls into which category, and then the gender, so I can see all the female-owned businesses. Once I have this selected, we'll go back to the data view and see we have quite a few of these unanswered cells, which means that people didn't necessarily fill in a value for that question. So we're going to go through and apply a filter here to the state. We'll say we'd only want values from Georgia. We'll go to the gender variable. We'll add a filter saying we only want female-owned businesses. And now we've narrowed down the number of records by a lot, as you can see here in the corner. Then we'll go to this NAI CS3 code and we'll pick the restaurant industry and we'll filter down to just the restaurants and eating places. And now, cool, we have just a view of the data that we're interested in. So once I have this subset that I'm happy with, there are a few ways that we can start working with the data. I can either go over here to the packaging view to export it. Maybe now that you have a more manageable file, you're interested in doing your own data analysis in a different software. Or I can go up here, and this link is actually bookmarkable, which means I can send it to my friend or coworker and they'll see exactly what I'm seeing on my screen. They'll have the same filters, the same subsets, so you're seeing the same data. Or if you're a developer, you're used to working with APIs, you can come over here to the brackets and grab the full API call. This will allow us to use the data right in our app. As you can see, there are a few other options which allow us to copy code snippets in Python, JavaScript, and R, and you can load these directly into your app, and this just saves you a few minutes of time setting up the libraries and getting the data directly into your app. So a quick query of the API shows that the records are coming back just like we'd expect. There are these record objects that show how the Explorer tool is populated. But if you're making an app with a visualization and you're using a charting library and you're worried that you'll have to reformat this data once again, I have another trick that might save you some time. So see here in the URL format where we have these parameters, we could put in a format parameter and we'll say we're using AM charts. I'll go ahead and plug that in. And you can see it's converted the JSON structure into the format that AM charts is expecting. We also support a few different AM charts variations as well as Google Charts. I'll put the full documentation down below, but this is an easy way to get the data exactly how you need it, save yourself even more time. If you're looking to break down the data even further, or do some more analysis, we've got a tool that might help you there as well. So similar to the RDS Explorer, the tabulation engine is built on the API. That means everything that I'm doing here, you can do it in the API and display it in your own way. So here again, I'll choose the PPP dataset, and then we'll come to this screen where we need to set up our table. Now I'm interested in loan breakdown by race, so I'll choose the loan range as my rows and race of the owner as my columns. I'm going to go ahead and put my measure as the percentage because it helps me kind of see the breakdown of this distribution. We'll toggle on the totals and we can see that the majority here falls under unanswered. I'm actually going to try filtering these out to see the distribution of those who did answer. Obviously this won't be a completely accurate view of the whole data set, but it can show us the breakdown of who did answer. So now I'm choosing all the categories besides unanswered. We'll press tabulate again and see that now the majority of loans were under $50,000 and the majority went to white business owners. So there are a million ways you can play around with this data, breaking it down by demographic, by loan amount, etc. Once again, here you're able to export the data either as CSV or Excel format, or similar to how we did in the Explorer, you can go up to the brackets and get the API call and use it in your app directly. So that's a quick breakdown of how you can use the RDS tools directly to download the PPP data, use it in your apps over an API call. But if you're a developer and you are using the API to get the data, we have a few more resources that might be helpful for you. So if we go here to our Postman documentation, you can see we have a bunch of different data sources, but when we go down to the SBA Paycheck Protection section, we have a few different API calls that can help you get started and start building really quickly with this data. So we'll go here, we'll click send, and once the data comes back, you can actually see that there's a visualized component to most of these that show the data displayed in like a mini app format. So this is a great way to kind of, you can build off the code that we have here in the test tab and use it as a starting point for your own app. Whether, you're just looking for classifications, you're looking to build a data dictionary, or if you're looking through several of these other data sources, some of them have examples of using AM charts to build, line charts, bar charts. And that's a great way to get a head start on building some of these apps. And then if you're looking for a little more guidance, we do have a help desk and knowledge base available. And the knowledge base that I'm showing here is a great place to just see all the resources in one place. We have, a bunch of quick links to our open source libraries. We have walkthroughs of our different apps. You can go to all of our different data sources. And then if you still need a little bit more guidance, you can go up here and submit a ticket. And here you can get help with your project. If something's not working right, let us know. And then we also have a Slack group if you want to join and come talk to our developers directly. We'd be more than happy to talk about your project with you, kind of get you back on the right track. And that's it. That's your quick overview of getting the Paycheck Protection Loan Program data using RDS. Hope this was helpful and hope you can go build something cool.